everyone, and welcome to another episode of Top 5 Saturdays Live with me, Chase Lee, my co-host,
Brian Sutfield.
That's fucking right. And hey, listen, guys, if you're new to this show, what we basically do is we'll take a movie coming out on the weekend, and we will take a look at an actor, director, genre, what have you, and we'll tie it in to the movies coming out of the weekend that we're doing these episodes. And the cool thing about the show is that we don't know each other's list, and we do this show live, so we have we have no idea what the hell's going to come out of our mouths. It's insane. So, Brian, first, before we get into our subject of the weekend, how you doing? What have you been up to?
Let's see. This weekend consists of 2 movies, Kingdom Hearts, more Kingdom Hearts, this show, and Easter.
Wow, it sounds like a busy weekend. My girlfriend's currently gone for like a week, so what I've been doing this whole entire day is I literally have been watching Daredevil Season 2, and I gotta tell you, it is one of the quickest seasons I've ever sat through in my life of any TV show. I'm already like halfway through it already, and it's just super exciting. So, but we're not here to talk about that. However, that is a nice little segue because, Brian, who also played Daredevil, and who are we honoring this week?
Ben Affleck. That's
fucking right, man. Hey, listen, Mr. Benny Affleck. Listen, when I think of Ben Affleck, you know what I think of? I think of where Brian is from, that area, like the New Jersey, Boston, New York. Like, hey, give me a fucking sandwich, you fuck. Like that's what I think of. I just think of everyone like yelling at each other in the streets, like asking, where's my sandwich, you fucking, like, Brian, am I pretty close? Like,
you've got a car and you got a bar and the park.
Oh yeah, that's some wicked cow over there near the park. Yeah, it's like all you guys in your parks and cars and stuff. It's ridiculous. But yeah, when I think of Ben Affleck, I think it's safe to say that I think of Boston because that is where he is from. And my first ever experience of a Ben Affleck film was Good Will Hunting. And that thing is like full of Boston accent everywhere. So, I mean, that's what I think of when I think of Ben Affleck. But the thing is with Ben Affleck is he's kind of got the Matthew McConaughey going on where, Matthew McConaughey was really good in the beginning. Then he did a slew of shit, and then, like, he came out, and now he's back on top again. Ben Affleck's the same way. Like, he was really promising at the very beginning. Then he did his slump of, Daredevil and Giggly and Jersey Girl back to back. And I know it's not called Giggly, just that's what I call it. Just calm yourself. But after that little hump, he starts coming back and does directing. He does, Gone Baby Gone, The Town, and Argo. And now he's fucking Batman. He's one of the most iconic characters. Boom, look at the back of my wall right there if you're watching on YouTube, of all time. And he's just really kind of growing as an actor and as a filmmaker. And he's not the only talented Affleck in the family. He's got a good old Casey Affleck, his brother, who has dabbled in directing as well. But I think Ben Affleck is better at directing, and I think Casey Affleck is the better actor until I see Batman v Superman, which Brian has seen. So I don't know if that'll factor into his list or not. But Brian, when you think of Ben Affleck, what do you think of?
His directing style and, of course, his Boston lifestyle. He's a Red Sox fan like myself. He loves football like me. He likes poker, something I don't like, and he's friggin' Batman now. He went from being this little Boston guy from Good Will Hunting, and now he's friggin' Batman. He's Batfleck. Batfleck.
He is Batfleck, and I still remember to this day, and I'll say in my show tomorrow, is that, listen, when Ben Affleck was casted as Batman, I did not flip out on the internet like most people did, and I don't understand, like, when people just, yeah, sure, he did Daredevil, but guess what, folks? That was over 10 years ago, and that's like Brian getting angry at something that I did when I was, 15 in high school. It's like, oh, man, your character sucks because you did that in high school. It's like, dude, I can fucking grow as a human being, and he can grow as an actor. So I've never understood that argument. And when you look at him, he looks like a Bruce Wayne. He looks like he can be brooding. When you see the trailers, people automatically shut up. So I just think people should just, kind of calm down. You don't have to go like too outlandish like when people are cast, but that's a different story.
Spoiler, people did shut up when they saw the film. I mean, everyone was already excited. Everyone was already sold, and people were like, "Oh my god!" When like at the end of the movie, everyone was cheering because of Ben Affleck. I couldn't stop hearing everyone talk about Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot, but pretty much Ben Affleck. Everyone was like constantly talking about him. Now, to give my opinion on the casting, the first time I heard, I was shocked. I wasn't like, "Oh my god, this is horrible casting." I was very surprised that they would pick someone like this, because I remember a lot of people like myself were rooting for Josh Brolin to play older Bruce Wayne, but a few days after the announcement, I'm like, I could see where this will go. Then all the trailers came out. I was excited, and I can tell you that Batfleck was fantastic, but that's a different video, of course. But yeah, Ben Affleck, I'm ready to talk about my favorite films of his.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
So with that being said, let's get this thing started. If you guys are new to the show, like I said, and if you aren't, welcome back. What we do is we go from 5 to 1, and then we'll do our honorable mentions and dishonorable mentions, and then Brian will introduce next week's topic. That is how we run this joint. We'll do by numbers, but if we have the same one, we'll kind of talk about it simultaneously. But we have different ones. It'll be nice to kind of contrast and stuff. So with that being said, Brian, what is your number 5 favorite Ben Affleck film of all time? And let me just reiterate, he's got to be in it. So no Gone Baby Gone's in there because he only directed it. Now, you can't...
We'll give a shout out to Gone Baby Gone at the end. We'll give like our thoughts on that particular film at the end of this episode.
I mean,
we have to.
But yeah, he's got to be in it. So you can choose the town, you can choose Argo and stuff. So we just got to make the rules clear. So, Brian, start the show off.
All right, my number 5, like we all said, he's playing Batman this week. I'm going with a film where he played Superman, Hollywoodland.
Okay, I have actually never seen that, so sell me on it.
Well, what happens in this movie, for people who don't know, he played George Reeves, the actor who played Superman in like the 50s or 60s. And what happens is apparently he was murdered or he committed suicide. We don't know. This whole movie's about the case revolving around George Reeves, because George Reeves was such an influential person at the time. Like, everyone loved this man. And when he died, it infected a lot of people. And another cool thing about this movie is that it stars 2 other DC people. It starred Morgan Freeman, who was Lucius Fox in the Dark Knight trilogy, and Diane Lane, who plays Martha Kent in now the DC films. So I think that's pretty cool. But no, this is the film, and I did some research. This was the film where everyone's like, "Oh my god, Ben Affleck actually is pretty darn fantastic." Like, he actually was snubbed of an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor for this film. I thought he was terrific in this film. And this film really did show his true, genuine acting chops. Yeah, we saw some films before that, maybe like Good Will Hunting, but that wasn't his film. That was Matt Damon's film. But for this film alone, it's worth watching, mainly for Ben Affleck's portrayal of this character. And yes, it's a funny... knowing that he played the actor who played Superman, now he's playing Batman. That is funny, but it's a great movie that definitely should be checked out. It was one of the underrated flicks from 2006, and yeah, it's fantastic. That's my number 5.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I've because it came out when I was in high school, I believe, and I would pass the cover of it or whatever when rental stores were around, but I never never got a chance to see it, but maybe I will, because I do like me some Affleck. My number 5, I had several I could have just slipped into number 5, but I honestly, I just put this in there just because it's a better performance out of the ones I could have handpicked from that were left out of the bunch, but I just went with Argo, just because I love just the fact that he drove the movie, and he really yes, he was in front and behind the camera, but it's a really great thriller of a movie about making a fake movie and helping some people out, and having this like really cool like undercover type of scenario, and the supporting cast is good, but Ben Affleck totally sells it, and his beard sells it too. But I have really nothing more to say because, like I said, I just had to put something in at number 5. But out of the ones that I had left, that was the better performance, I thought, that out of all of them that I had left. So Argo is my number 5. Brian, would you like to comment on that?
I'm going to pass.
Oh, shit. So it's on his list somewhere, ladies and gentlemen. I'm thinking top 3, but we'll hold that until that. So what is your number 4?
I'm going with another incredibly underrated, overlooked film. I don't know if you heard of it, and if you have, you're a saint, because no one saw this film when it came out. My number 4 is The Company Men.
Oh yeah, I never saw that one, so sell me on that one too.
Oh, that one's fucking fantastic. Another Boston film, which is great. This film stars him, Tommy Lee Jones, Kevin Costner, Chris Cooper. What a stellar cast. Ben Affleck plays this guy who's part of this corporate. I don't remember. It's like some corporate big financial job thing. He gets laid off, and it's about him trying to like find a way to help himself through this because he's like, I don't want to be a non-successful person. I have to pretend to be successful or else people are going to look at me differently. And then you have Tommy Lee Jones in there too, and Kevin Costner plays Ben Affleck's brother-in-law, and he's probably the scene stealer of the entire film. Again, another great DC parallel, Batman and fucking Pa Kent. It's like, I don't know what it is, but there's so many DC people in this list. It's too much for me. But this, I think, is a great film because it has elements of Up in the Air in it. And if you love Up in the Air, this is a movie that's meant to be checked out. And Ben Affleck, this, I think I can make an argument that this might be the best performance Ben Affleck has ever given, the most real performance. It's definitely a film that's worth checking out. I think it's on Netflix, and if it is, it's you guys need to check it out as well as you, Chase. Like, it's a fantastic film. Like I said, it has elements of Up in the Air, and it reminds me of some other film. It has it's like Wall Street meets Up in the Air, but it's not as political as Wall Street, but it has those political elements to it. But it's fantastic. It was an overlooked film. It's directed by the same person who made August Osage County, and Burnt. So I mean, it's a film that's definitely worth checking out, mainly for Ben Affleck.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out. Hey, listen, if anything is like Up in the Air, I'm willing to do that because I remember when I saw Up in the Air in theaters, I didn't know what to expect because I didn't know what Jason Reitman films were because I knew he did Juno, but I wasn't aware of that because I saw Juno. Juno was 2 years before that, so I was like, oh, what's this Up in the Air business? And I was blown away on how simple the story was, but there was still a lot of twists and turns that still caught you off guard, and I thought that was refreshing. So yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out. My number 4, I'm gonna go with arguably one of his best supporting roles that he's ever done out of all the movies I've seen. And he stars in with his buddy Matt Damon, and I'm gonna have to go with Good Will Hunting. I just because I rewatched it, I think last month or something like that, and there's just something about his character that I love that motivation that he has behind his character, motivating Matt Damon's character Will Hunting into being something better than what he is, and I love that scene at the end of the movie when Ben Affleck's like, hey, listen, if you're fucking working here, 20 years from now, I'm gonna fucking kill you, man. That's great, man, because he knows Will Hunting's potential, and he's just another push, another motivation in his life, and I love that. And you can relate to that so hard. I've done it with many of my friends where you motivate them and stuff, and people have motivated me and whatnot. And I just think it's a super charming role, a super fitting role. And at the very end, he goes up to his house and he's looking for him and stuff, and he kind of smiles and just dude, I fucking know people like that. And it's just a very kind of a little heartwarming performance. And him and Matt Damon won the Oscar for best screenplay. So, and then Robin Williams won supporting actor. So that is it's a great movie overall. And yes, Matt Damon and Robin Williams carry it, but let's not deny that Ben Affleck's role is very pivotal to Will Hunting's character, and it's a well-written movie as well. So I'm going to go with Good Will Hunting. So, Brian, would you like to comment on that?
Couldn't make my list. I love the film, but I think we'll talk about this film way more when we do our Matt Damon episode. Like you said, Ben Affleck's character is definitely influential to Matt Damon's character, like that speech. He's like, yeah, if you keep working here, I'll kill you. I'll fucking kill you and stuff. What about the scene where he goes into the interview and stuff? That scene was pretty funny. That scene is pretty funny. And I think it's one of my favorite screenplays ever written. This is one of my favorite original screenplays. I think it was my favorite original screenplay of the 90s, to be quite honest. This is a very well-written film. Damon and Affleck do a great job, and let's not forget the fact that, like you said, he won the Oscar for this. Ben Affleck's a 2-time Oscar winner. He's won 2 Oscars. Mm-hmm. So, it's a big deal. Yes, he hasn't won one for acting yet, but, it
doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. 2 Oscars?
I'm sorry, but when you directed one of the best pictures of the year, I think you have bragging rights. So, you know, I don't. Who cares? Who cares? If
I'll agree.
So yeah, Good Will Hunting. That's some good shit. So guys, we're going on into number 3, and so okay. So this is the part of the show where Brian just gets super angry, and I guess all of his picks, I'm always right, and he gets
except for last week. You were so wrong last week.
No, I think it was like a technical difficulty glitch or whatever. There was something wrong with the computer, and the computer made it seem like I said the wrong answers, but deep down I had the right answer. So that makes no sense. So basically, okay, we're getting down to our top 3. So I'm thinking. Okay, Brian's from Jersey, so he's got to have the town in there somewhere. He's got to have Argo in there somewhere because he just said that. He's probably got to have Gone Girl in there too. Brian, I'm going to say your number 3 is Argo.
My number 3 is Gone Girl.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Little off fun fact about this. This was the first time I met you. I was on your show. We reviewed Gone Girl. That's the first time you and I met. So that was a pretty good memory. Gone Girl. David Fincher, the king of everything. I love this film. I thought it was a 10 out of 10, A+ film. I know there are a lot of people who were like, oh, there's one little issue, and that's with someone that's in the cast. But I thought this was a really well-engaging film. I loved the book. I loved the film. Ben Affleck, I thought, was a terrific Nick Dunn. I think that for someone who has been made fun of and through the tabloids and stuff, I think this was the perfect role for him, and that's why David Fincher cast him, because he was someone that was always picked on by the press and stuff because you know of the films that he did and stuff. But and there were so many layers to his character. But obviously, this film is mainly strong because of Rosamund Pike as Amy. She stole the entire film. It was her film. Ben Affleck was great, but then Rosamund Pike was up here. Ben Affleck was just down here, but he was still really, really strong in this role. And I think some people could say maybe it's Ben Affleck's best performance. I wouldn't say it's his best. It's definitely one of them. But I mean, when you work with David Fincher, he always knows how to get the best out of his actors. And everyone was like, oh, Neil Patrick Harris wasn't that bad. There's obviously a reason why he cast Neil Patrick Harris in his film. And I thought Neil Patrick Harris did a good job for what he did. I know a lot of people were against that particular performance. I personally dug it. But no, Ben Affleck kills in this movie. It's a beautifully shot film. The music is great. The editing is superb, as usual with all of David Fincher's films. I mean, when you watch The Social Network or Fight Club or Seven, those are perfectly well-edited films. And this one is no exception. I was so upset this film didn't get more Oscar buzz. I mean, yeah, Rosamund Pike got all nominations for every single award, but the script didn't get nominated. The film itself didn't get nominated. It really pisses me off. I understand why Ben Affleck didn't get a lot of nominations, but man, talk about one of my favorite films of the decade so far. I love this film. It was my number 4 of 2014. I love Gone Girl. If you guys have not seen it, do yourself a favor, check it out. It's not for everybody. There's a lot of crazy stuff in it. One scene involving someone stabbing someone from the neck in a bedroom. Blood covered all over them. And the sheets. It's fantastically edited. Gone Girl. Check it out.
Yeah, I'm going to have to pass on that. But I will say that I was just thinking about this while you were talking. It is crazy. I want everyone to think about this. Gone Girl came out a year and 6 months ago. That's a long fucking time. It seems like it was last year, but it was in 2014. It's nuts. It's just nuts. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna pass on Gone Girl. So Brian now knows that it's in my top 3 somewhere. My number 3. Not only am I gonna pick this because I have literally been in this situation before. I'm a fan of this filmmaker's films, and I think with Good Will Hunting, this was one of the other first type of Ben Affleck movies I remember seeing, as well as another one he was in, or 2 of them, or actually 3 of them. Shit, he's been in a lot of them. The other films include Dogma, Mallrats, and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, but I'm going to go with Chasing Amy. Okay, so I'm not even joking. I've actually been in this situation. I was in a relationship with a lesbian for 3 months. That was interesting. So, anyways, not only can I relate to this movie quite well, it's a really funny movie. It's got a lot of heart. There's a lot of sweet and tender moments about love and whatnot, and it's just really interesting to see this Ben Affleck's character love this girl so much, but she's actually playing for the other ball team. But he doesn't care. He's just gonna love her because he does. Like, he's just gonna express his feelings. Whatever happens, happens. And I love that shit. He was confident. He has balls laid out on the table. He's like, I'm fucking going for it. But like I said, it's really funny. It's really humorous, especially with him and Jason Lee going back and forth. And, of course, Jay and Silent Bob were in that movie too. And like I said, there's a lot of heart to it. It's one of the Kevin Smith movies that's got so much heart to it that it's actually a really good balance with Smith's raunchy humor and heart. I think this is like the perfect balance, even though I'm a huge fan of him and I like the majority of the films he's done. This is by far one of my favorite ones he's ever done, not because I can relate to it, but it is a very good film, and he is he's very endearing as the lead, someone that just doesn't give up on love. So Chasing Amy is my number 3. Brian, would you like to comment on that?
I like it. I'm seeing Kevin Smith in the month, by the way. A little off topic. In my opinion, the best filmmaker from my state. I can't wait to see that man. I'll probably ask him about one of his movies. I'll ask him about Clerks 3 or some of the Mallrats 2. I need to ask him about something. Just something. But yeah, Chasing Amy. I would love to ask him about Chasing Amy now that you brought it up. Yeah, I completely forgot about that one, honestly. I mean, I haven't seen it in forever. I don't even remember what it was until you said that he was dated a lesbian. I didn't even remember that, to be quite honest. Probably because I saw it so long ago when I was like...
That's what the whole plot of the movie is.
I know, but I saw the movie like 6 years ago. I don't remember it.
God. Yeah, you need to see it again, man. Chasing Amy, I'm looking at my Kevin Smith collection right now. I'm not even joking. I have them all right here on the bottom. And I kind of like Chasing Amy and Zack and Mary Make a Porno like the most. They're probably my top 2. And yeah, even over Clerks and Clerks 2 and Mallrats. I love them all, but there's just something about them too that I was like. So apparently I like lesbians and porno. Sue me. So yeah, I like Chasing Amy. If you guys haven't checked it out, please check it out. If you aren't a fan of Kevin Smith, I get it. I have a couple friends that are not huge Kevin Smith fans. I get it, but I think Chasing Amy is one of those exceptions where I could actually recommend that to anyone that wants to see like a romance movie or a romantic comedy or something. It's just that the comedy is a little edgier. That's okay. Okay. We're getting into our top 2. I know for a fact that The Town is on there somewhere, and Brian has still yet to mention Argo. So I'm going to take a wild fucking guess that since Brian's veins run with, hey, where's my fucking sandwich and give me a fucking beer, I gotta assume The Town's number 1. So I'm gonna assume that Brian, your number 2 is Argo.
My number 2 is indeed Argo.
Oh, look at that. I am so fucking right.
Yeah, I thought this was a perfectly directed film. I mean, Ben Affleck gave a solid performance. I mean, first of all, whenever you involve film in a film, that's automatically something that interests me. I remember when I saw the trailer for this, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go save these people and pretend like we're a part of a film crew." That's a great premise. Great premise. Great premise. Already sold. I didn't even know about this film, and then I remember when they said from the director of The Town, I'm like, he's directed another film. That's pretty great because when they showed the trailer, he wasn't in the trailer yet when they said from the director of The Town. Then when they showed him, like, oh, look at that. He's directing himself again. This should be interesting. And, I mean, when you added my boy Bryan Cranston to it, then you added Alan Arkin, John Goodman, you added a really solid cast, and you're sold. I mean, the script was written by Chris Terrio, who wrote Batman v Superman. The script won the Oscar. I'm still upset that Ben Affleck was not nominated for Best Director. That, in my opinion, is the biggest snub of this entire decade so far in terms of Oscar. Everyone was voting for him. He was winning like every director award, and he wasn't even nominated for the fucking Oscar. No diss into Ang Lee. I think Ang Lee did a terrific job of Life of Pi, but it was Ben Affleck's year. He was the best director of 2012.
Didn't Ben Affleck win the DGAs that year?
He did win the DGA.
Which means if he won the Directors Guild, you figure he would be the director's pick for the Oscar. But
no, instead they nominate the guy who made More and then the guy who made Beasts of the Southern Wild. Like, come on. Give me a break. Give me a break.
Listen, as much as I love Argo, I think what Ang Lee did for Life of Pi totally deserves that win. That film is incredible. Like,
no, hey, listen, like I said, Ben Affleck wasn't the fact that Ben Affleck wasn't nominated. I was rooting for Ang Lee to win. That's who I wanted to win. But it should have been Ben Affleck's award, because if he won that award, then everyone would look at him like, oh yeah, this guy's a god. Because a lot of people still disrespect him, and this was before he was cast as Batman. People were still giving him shit before he was cast as Batman. But Argo, in my opinion, is a very, very well-made film. I think it's fantastic. Incredible true story. Couldn't have been more happier. I'm glad it won Best Picture, although that wasn't the film I don't know if that's what I was rooting for that year. I don't remember.
Guess who's going to pull up the list while Brian's talking?
But, I know I was not rooting for More or Beasts of the Southern Wild. I think I was rooting for Stone Line's Playbook.
So here's what came out that year in terms of Best Picture nominees. Amore, Beasts of the Southern Wild, Zero Dark 30, Life of Pi, Silver Linings Playbook, Argo, Les Miserables, Django Unchained, and Lincoln. Oh,
Django and Silver Linings from the two films that I really wanted to win, but I wasn't mad that Argo won. A lot of people were upset that Argo won, it seemed. A lot of people on the YouTube reviewing community were like, oh my God, why does Argo have to win this? Why shouldn't they win?
I don't care that it won. I mean, it's a fine movie, but yeah, I would have, for me personally, since I love exploitation films, basically, I wanted Django to win. But hey, to each his own.
But Argo, great film, my number 2. Great directorial review from Ben Affleck once again.
Yeah,
and just to mention, Live by Night, his upcoming film. I'm so pumped for that film. It's another Dennis Lehane adaptation. I cannot wait. I'm pumped.
Yeah, I'm excited for whatever. If Ben Affleck wants to direct a Toyota commercial, I'll fucking be there to watch it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, no, he's really great in Argo and stuff. It's just, it's not my cup of tea. But my number 2, once I say my number 2, Brian's going to automatically know what my number 1 is. My number 2, I got to go get my wicked car from the Wicked Park and go to the fucking town. Listen, when I saw the town for the first time in theaters, I was actually blown away that this is the same guy that was in Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, talking to Jay and Silent Bob about, just stupid shit. I was like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way that the same guy made this movie. The Town is a good heist movie. It's a good thriller. There's actually a really interesting love story involved. I love the whole kind of premise, with Ben Affleck and his crew robbing this bank, saving this chick, and then he actually starts dating her. It's like, that's such a weird kind of concept, but you can kind of get behind it because you're like, what's going to happen? But not only that, the action's intense. The characters are really well-rounded. I love Jeremy Renner and Ben Affleck going at each other.
Hey, Dougie, you need to rob the fucking bank, Dougie.
Yeah, it's so great. And like I said, it's just a really good heist film. There's really nothing more to say. And he fuels the movie. And I think this was the very first time I said, you know what, Mrs. Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, you can act. And I want to see more from you, which I'm looking forward to The Shallows, by the way. But everyone in that movie does very well. But Ben Affleck does drive the movie. He directs it. He's in it. He's immersed in this world. I think he co-wrote it as well. The guy was so involved in this project, and to this day, until I see, Live by Night, his next one, The Town is my favorite one he has directed thus far. I love that movie. So yeah, The Town is my number 2. I don't even need to explain Brian's number 1. I just don't. Listen, Brian he's from Jersey, which means he automatically has to pick the ones with accents. It's in his blood. So Brian, tell me why you like The Town so much.
I'm a crime film fanatic. Crime is my favorite genre. I'm automatically sold whenever a crime film comes out. I regrettably did not see this when it came out in the theater. I don't know if I was able to. I remember in 2010 there was a period where I didn't see a movie in the theater for like 2 months. And this was one of them. I wasn't able to because there was a lot of stuff going on at my home, so I wasn't able to go out to the movies that much until like November. I remember like there was a movie I saw in August of 2010. I don't remember what it was. And then the next movie I saw after that was Deathly Hallows Part 1, which came out 3 months later. So, I mean, that's a big thing. And this movie came out in September, so I didn't get to see this one. And I saw the moment it came out on DVD, loved it instantaneously, couldn't stop watching it. I mean, it's a very well-directed film. I mean, the opening sequence alone is terrific. The sequence with this is creepy as hell. This still gives me nightmares. I remember when I first saw the poster, I'm like, ooh, I can't. It's the creepy nuns. Ooh, it's so gross. But everyone does a great job. Affleck does a great job. Like you said, Blake Lively does good. I wish there was more of her in this movie because everything that she did in this movie was pretty great. Jeremy Renner was fantastic. Glad he got an Oscar nomination for this. I mean, Batman and Hawkeye together, pretty great. Jeremy Renner's scene towards the end gets me every single time. Gets me every time. Right here in the heart, right here. And John Hamm also fantastic as the cop. So different from his role on Mad Men that it's pretty great. And this was my introduction to Rebecca Hall, who I love to death now. I love Rebecca Hall. And yeah, like you said, the fact that he protects, robs this bank clerk, and then he begins dating her. The suspicion is just so crazy. And then the ending sequence with the robbery at Family Pack is so well done. I remember I went to Fenway Park. I remember when I saw the movie, I'm like, oh my God, they're at Fenway Park. And then when they said they were going to rob Fenway Park, I'm like, ooh. Inside, I'm like, oh, that's so great. It was so well done, this whole film. I love the town. It's one of my favorite films of the decade so far. It's so well made. This is, like you said, this is Ben Affleck's best directed film in my opinion. And I don't think anyone else could have directed the film with this much passion as Ben Affleck. I think it was a near perfect film. Loved it. Yeah, it's terrific. It's very great. And honestly, I think it should have been nominated for Best Picture of the Oscars that year. Yeah, Jeremy Renner was great and everything, but that should not have been the only nomination. God, it should have gotten a little more recognition. It should have gotten just a little bit more recognition. And it's fantastic. If you haven't seen The Town, check it out. Do yourself a favor. You won't regret it. If you love crime films, check it out. If you love Boston, you gotta support your hometown of Boston if you're from Boston, of course. Yeah, fantastic film. I can't wait to see what it does to Live by Night because that's also going to be a crime film. I cannot wait. The Town is my number one.
You know, while you're talking, like I'm just looking up at the. It was literally Brian's right. It's literally only nominated for Best Supporting Actor. That's it. There wasn't even no director, screenplay, Best Picture. It's like, wow, The Town got snubbed severely. Yeah, it's a really good film. And I forgot to mention that it's also got one of the most suspenseful, kind of nerve-wracking scenes of trying to hide a fucking leprechaun tattoo that I've ever seen in my life. Do you remember that?
Oh, yes. When they go out to eat and he goes and then she sees the tattoo. Ooh, the suspicion. Oh my God.
Great stuff. So I don't even need to say my number one because Brian knows my number one. Brian, who do I get a hard on for the most in terms of filmmakers?
David fucking Fincher, man.
Of course, he's got to be in my top 5 of all time, or at least in my lifetime. Shit. Listen, Gone Girl is my number one, and I have no regrets. I will put that up there, and it's like what Brian said. It is Rosamund Pike's movie, but not only is this a fantastically shot film, edited film, story-wise, acting, it hits on all cylinders because it's Fincher. He's one of the best. Ben Affleck's character does a 180 because at the beginning of the movie, you're like, oh my God, this guy's fishy as fuck. I want him to go to jail. And then towards the end of the movie, you're like, dude, get the fuck out of that house. Like, it's so amazing how the movie is set up and the way it's put together to where you fucking loathe this guy at the very beginning because he acts like such a douche, like a laid-back douche. And throughout the movie, we see little spurts of emotional outrage or whatever. And then at the very end, you feel sympathetic for him and you want to go save him. You want to go be like, dude, I fear for your life. Come with me. I will shelter you, Nick Dunn. Let's go. Get the hell out of that house. Like, she's fucking psychotic. So I like Gone Girl just because I love the character transformation, not only that he does in the movie, but we have as an audience member watching the movie. And I think that's just spectacular. For me, I think Gone Girl is the best thing he's been a part of, and that's including his own projects. So, and here's why, because a lot of people say, well, what about The Town or whatnot? I think The Town's a great movie, but Gone Girl is so different than what Ben Affleck is known for. It's like what Brian said. Fincher saw something in Affleck to where he was like, I'm going to put in my movie. Because Fincher's not going to just put any fucking yuts in his movie. So the fact that he trusted Ben Affleck and he put him in this movie, it's so far off from what Affleck normally does. It was kind of jarring at first, but it also worked. It fit like a glove. And I was like, dude, Affleck needs to be in more Fincher films. And you know what's really funny is that since this movie was one of the, I think he might have done one after that, but it was, one of the ones right before Batman v Superman. And since it's got like kind of a dark, bleak tone, it's kind of cool. It's like almost like a preparation, like audition to be in Batman v Superman, because all Gone Girl is just so dark and moody. So it's like, oh, you'll fit into the DC universe quite well. So yeah, Gone Girl, it's such a different movie for him, but I think he completely nails it. Rosamund Pike nails it. They have great chemistry. I'm okay with Neil Patrick Harris. He's kind of grown on me in the movie, but yeah, to me he's kind of the weak link, which is weird because not only is he in there, Tyler Perry's also in it. So David Fincher must have had like the weirdest casting day ever, where he was like, I'm gonna get Daredevil, I'm gonna get Medea, I'm gonna get Barney. Like, what? But then that's what he does. Like, Fincher gets all these actors, he brings out the best in them, and you're like, holy shit, he's one of the best ever made. Like, he's one of the best directors to ever like step foot in this industry, to where he can literally grab Pauly Shore off the street, I'll bet you $100 on it, and turn him into an Oscar-worthy actor. So, Gone Girl, my number one. So that is
they're working together again. David Fincher is supposedly going to direct a remake of Strangers on a Train. Ben Affleck's going to write it with Gillian Flynn, who wrote Gone Girl, and Ben Affleck's going to be in it.
That's right. I completely forgot about that. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Gillian Flynn, listen, I love Gone Girl. I didn't really care for Dark Places, so please make this one a little bit better. But since you got Ben Affleck working with you, I think you're going to do just fine. So with that being said, here are Brian and I's top 5 favorite Ben Affleck films. We each got Gone Girl, Argo, and The Town, and then we got 2 different ones. But it looks like we're pretty much in agreement for at least half the list. So if you haven't checked any of these movies out, please, I implore you to check at least one of these out. So that's the question I want to ask you before we get into our honorable mentions is, what is your favorite Ben Affleck film? What is your least favorite? All that stuff, comment that place, roll up in my face, and let me know. But there are some that barely just escaped that list. They just they saw the list and then it went away forever. So let's get into some honorable mentions. I'm gonna go first. Dazed and Confused, I guess. I'm not even joking. I think all the ones I put on there were my favorites. Everything else I either haven't seen or they're awful. So take it away, Brian.
Good Will Hunting, Dazed and Confused. And I don't know how you feel about this one. I like Armageddon.
In a guilty pleasure sort of way, yes.
Yeah, that's in a guilty pleasure way, yes. And it is one of Michael Bay's better films. You have to agree that it is one of his better films.
Yeah, I guess. we'll go with that. But yeah, no, listen. Ben Affleck's kind of had like this divisive career where it's like he's got some good ones over here, but he's got a lot of bad ones. So let's just get it out of the way right now. I have not seen the full movie, but I can tell you that I've seen the first 20 minutes of it. And I can tell you that Giggly, having its low score on Rotten Tomatoes, having its bomb at the box office, pretty much tells me that it was one of the worst movies, even though I haven't seen it all. But I've seen 20 minutes worth, and that was enough for me. That movie was awful. So that's the only one that I know of. In terms of dishonorable mentions, because I didn't see Daredevil, never saw Jersey Girl. That's what I'm saying. I pull myself out of like bad Ben Affleck movies that I haven't seen most of them, so I'm actually glad. So I guess my only bad one is 20 minutes of Giggly. There you go. So Brian, take away. What are some of the ones that are just awful?
Daredevil, Surviving Christmas with him and James
I
Gandolfini.
didn't see that one either.
This one wasn't bad, but it was kind of a letdown for me because I was actually looking forward to it. Do you remember the movie Runner Runner with him and Justin Timberlake?
I didn't see that one either.
That was kind of a letdown for me. And the one that almost ended up being my worst, you know that I really hate this film. I really hate Pearl Harbor. I hate what they did. Ben Affleck was eh. He wasn't terrible in it, but he was eh. The whole film just makes me pissed off because of what it tried to do. It tried to be Titanic. It didn't work, and it just no. But my worst is Jiggly. I did see this one.
Jiggly.
Jiggly. I don't know what it's called. You know what the sad thing is about this film the most? It was directed by Martin Brest, and this was the last one that he directed. Martin Brest is the guy who made Beverly Hills Cop, Midnight Run, and fucking Scent of a Woman.
Wow.
This was the last film that he directed, and this was 13 years ago. He hasn't directed anything since this movie. This movie ruined his career.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up the facts while you keep talking, but I'm telling you, like, that movie bombed so hard. I wouldn't be surprised if most.
I'm on IMDb right now, and I looked to see if he directed anything after this, and he hasn't directed anything. He hasn't produced anything. He hasn't even written anything since this.
Listen,
Jiggly was the last film that he worked on.
Guys, listen. When your budget is $54 million, and I told you, you got to double the budget at least to break even. So you need to make about 108, and I want to say maybe about 115 for marketing. Worldwide. This is the worldwide numbers for Giggly. 7 million. That's it. It made 6 million in the US and Canada, and it made a measly 1.1 million overseas. Holy shit. Some people got fired. I can tell you that much. So, holy crap.
Yeah, really bad. This was a Ben Affleck movie. Ben Affleck and J-Law. Not J-Law. J-Lo. Excuse me.
Wow.
Excuse me. Hey,
Woof.
listen. J-Law has made out with men that are much older. Bradley Cooper's like 15 years older than her.
True.
Michael Fassbender, like 15 years older than her.
She likes older guys. It's okay.
Chris Martin, like 20 years older than him. I mean, her. Yeah, Jiggly, the worst. And it's a 2-hour long film. It's 2 hours.
I think every time when I see that clip where Jennifer Lopez spreads open her legs and she's like, it's turkey time, I just want to like cringe and like fall asleep and like kind of just like wake up the next day and make sure that nightmare is out of my head, because why would someone write that? Like, why would that be a legit scene that you put in a feature film?
This is a funny fact on IMDb. It says, according to Matt Damon, Ben Affleck twitches whenever the film is mentioned to him.
I would too. Are you fucking kidding?
That's fun. That's hilarious.
Dude, I would fucking twitch if I heard any type of Giggly, Daredevil, or...
I'm trying to look up other stuff. The negative experience making this film caused Martin Brest to retire from directing. Okay, that's obvious. Everything else is kind of mediocre. Everything else is too long.
Even with Batman v Superman's terrible score on Rotten Tomatoes, Giggly is the worst thing, critic-wise and fan-wise, and box office-wise, that Ben Affleck's ever been a part of. And I don't think he's ever going to go back there ever. Because listen, when you do Giggly and Daredevil and you are panned, dude, you go into hiding for several years, then you come back in 2007 and you direct Gone Baby Gone. Then he does The Town. Then he does Argo. And then he's sprinkled in with movies like Runner Runner or Gone Girl or, in Batman now. And then he's going to be directing more movies and working with David Fincher now. This guy is at the point of his career where he really can't do any wrong. I don't think he can. I think he's out. Like, ever since Gone Baby Gone, he's been out of this stump. He's growing as an actor, and I'm excited. Like, at the time of this recording, Brian has seen Batman v Superman. He says Ben Affleck is one of the best parts about it.
He's the best thing about the movie, in my opinion.
I have not seen it yet, but I'm super stoked for it. And if I like it, I can't wait to argue about it tomorrow.
Everything with Ben Affleck is gold. Every single thing with him, in my opinion, was perfect. Every scene with him as Bruce Wayne was perfect. Every scene with him as Batman was perfect. Everything with Ben Affleck
Listen,
was flawless.
Ben Affleck is a great actor. I don't understand why people think he's bad. And I think what tainted him, and this is not his fault, is that like Family Guy and Robot Chicken would always like make fun of his bad movies or make fun of the fact that he's kind of got this bromance going on with Matt Damon. And we kind of see him as that, kind of like that, kind of like goofy dude, you know, we just can't take him serious. He's the guy eating fucking cereal in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Like, he's that guy. But he's done this 180. He's turned around, and now he's one of the best directors to look out for. He's one of the best actors right now. Like, it's just insane how much he's turned around. But there are some gems in his career, and we definitely shed a light on them on this episode.
So we talk about Gone Baby Gone, like bring it up, just our thoughts on it, because it was his first film as a director. It's a film that showed him he's something different. We have to talk about Gone Baby Gone.
I mean, I like it a lot. It's a really good, like, kind of creepy thriller about childhood.
I love it. I think it's one of the best directorial debuts I've seen, and it's also one of the best directorial debuts from an actor we've ever had. And also, I think I'm going to say this, competing with Ron Howard, Ben Affleck is the best actor turned director we've ever had. Competing with Ron Howard, in my opinion. Ron Howard, Clint Eastwood, don't know any other. Can you think of any other great actor turned directors?
No, I mean, because there are several actors that turn into successful directors. But yeah, you're talking about like movies that can be classified as like movies that will define a decade. And I think The Town is one of those movies. And, the movies that he directs in the future, like, because Clint Eastwood, he's got like movies like Unforgiven and $1 Million Baby. Ron Howard's got movies like fucking Apollo 13. Like, every single actor turned director that's like iconic, they have like that one movie that will probably be the one that like sets a stone in that generation. And I think Ben Affleck did that with The Town. Now, there are plenty of like actors that direct and stuff. Like, one of my favorites, my boy Seth Rogen, he's directed some films, but they're meant on entertainment quality, and I totally get that. But Ben Affleck, he makes like really great films that you fucking remember. I remember when I saw Gone Baby Gone. Still sticks with me to this day. The Town still sticks with me. Certain scenes stick out. Argo sticks out for the very end. I still remember that end sequence watching it in theaters where everything's starting to wrap up and there's like trying to get the hell out of there through the airport. It's amazing stuff. So yeah. I can't say anything more about Ben Affleck. He is fantastic. So that goes on into next week. Brian, what are we talking about next week?
Next week, in honor of the limited release of Miles Ahead, which is the Miles Davis biopic. What does that mean? He's a musician. There's a biopic. So next week, we are talking about our favorite music biopics.
So you can bet your ass that we're gonna have a lot of picks that involve drugs, sex, and musician,
rock and roll,
yeah.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
See, there you go. Brian's the cool one, not me. So yeah, listen, I've only seen a few of them. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Next week is gonna be very slim pickings for me. I might even throw a movie on there that I just saw at South by Southwest. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But I don't watch a lot of musical biopics, so. Out of the ones that I've seen, they'll just have to be my list. So, Brian, are you pretty well in tune with that genre, or so-so?
So-so.
Okay, so it's gonna be it.
I've seen the critically acclaimed ones. I've seen a good amount of those. I haven't seen really. I think I've only seen one mediocre one, but I've seen a good amount of them. Not a huge amount, not a very small amount, but a nice amount of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Next week might be a little slow. We might have to, try very hard to, trudge through the episode. It's not because we're dumb or anything. It's just, this is not a genre that we're well-versed in. But, we'll try our best. And I have a lot of interesting ones that I might pick. I also have a comedy. I don't know if Brian knows which one I'm talking about.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
There we go.
I know which one.
I'm definitely going to put that on the list.
That's not necessarily a biopic, but the movie labels itself as a biopic.
It is. It's a musical biopic that's a comedy. It makes fun of that genre. It still counts. So, next week, musical biopics in honor of a limited release of Miles Ahead. So, with that being said, Brian, where can the people find you online?
Twitter, BrianStuff98, and on YouTube at Brian Suffield.
All right. So, Brian, you're getting pretty close to 300, aren't you?
Going down. Going downhill.
Wait a minute. It was at like 298.
Now it's at like 289.
Oh. We'll get Brian to 300 because you know what? I actually just crossed 600 the other day. So, believe it or not, I've been in the 500s for 4 years. It's taken me 4 years to get 100 subscribers. Dear God. But I love every single one of you that do it. Please get Brian to 300. You know, he needs the support. And we both need the support. But we are really glad that you guys watch every single week and let your friends know about this, that this is the best top 5 show on the face of the fucking internet. So with that being said, I'm Chase Lee.
I'm Brian Suffield.
That's fucking right. And this is Top 5 Saturdays Live. If you want an audio-only version and you're watching on YouTube, link in the description below. If you're listening on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and you want a video version, link will be in the description below. See you guys next week for musical biopics. What is your favorite and least favorite Ben Affleck film? Comment in the place, roll my face, and let me know. Play the outro music done by my friends band Fervent Roze. Check them out as well in the description. Peace out, everyone. See you guys later.